Greetings, Elder Black Light. Now, we gotta have some order. You gotta have some harmony. You gotta have some unity. Uh, we all gotta have a common goal, a common agenda. Master Farad Muhammad came to the wilderness of North America and organized the FOI, a military unit of men, you know, and we had a military structure. All nations got to have a military. It just ain't all about uh, lip service, because you might have to uh, do hand-to-hand combat. You might have to do some kind of combat. Uh, it's been an attack on the population. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad was the chief and commander, but he always had a military. He always had a captain. Uh, see, in order for you to be a god, you got to know what's inside you, what you got to operate in. You got to know what kind of ammunition you got. You got to know your terrain. You got to know uh, what frequency of thought to operate on. You know, if you're a god, you don't need to communicate verbally uh, with other gods. You can do ESP. See, a thought travels at 24 billion miles per second. And you got to know how to direct your thoughts to the right people. And you don't want no one to intercept your signals. You don't want no one to sabotage your signals. So this is why we haven't been successful as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. After he left, the brothers lost the signal. You know, y'all just done lost the signal. Y'all stopped focusing on Master Farad Muhammad. If you notice that some of you brothers and sisters that might happen to tune in on this, y'all won't know what I'm talking about unless you was a part of the Nation of Islam, unless you was in the FOI or whatever, or unless you read Message to the Black Man or the materials, books that Honorable Elijah Muhammad made available for us. He often said that he would tune in to Master Farad Muhammad. Master Farad Muhammad would tune in to him. And sometimes during his classes or lectures, he would actually tune in to the Master Farah Muhammad. We haven't learned to do this, you know. Now I agree with some of the brothers say that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad were choosing rulers, to rule. But let's dig on this right here right quick before we run out of time. Let's get into some of the lessons.
Muhammad to his servant, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, for the lost foundation of Islam in North America. To the Muslims of Number 1 Michigan. The following is the original rules of instruction to the laborers of Islam, and the title of Muslim given by our Savior before his departure, with a footnote of a few words of explanation to lay pressure upon their minds of their many errors in the past and present, that they may see the light and walk therein. I thank you, Elijah Muhammad. Instructions given to the laborers by our Savior, W.D. Farad Muhammad. 1. The student must study his assignment, lesson number 1. Each student should copy the answers of lesson of Minister Elijah Muhammad and study until the student is able to memorize by heart all answers of said lesson number 1. Note: here, lesson number 1 is said to be the student's assignment first. Lesson number 1 lays the base of our work today and gives the student a clear knowledge of himself and his heavenly home, the best part of the earth, and who was the enemy to him and his nation, and why the enemy and righteous could not live together, and why was the righteous able to cast out his enemy. This teaches the student what he must do with the enemy of the righteous today. The righteous nation is now living in every part of the planet Earth. Therefore, the enemy must now be removed in every part of the planet Earth. Why is stress made to the Muslims to copy the minister Elijah Muhammad's answers? The past history shows that the Almighty Allah sends prophets and apostles for the people's guide and example, and through them his mystery was revealed, and those who followed the apostle would see the light. 2. Each student must qualify his or herself for positions awaiting them. Assignment of office will be made immediately after examination and on completion of his or her labor course. Consideration for the laborers of Islam will be taken and analysis in the near future by Allah. Note: this paragraph puts a stop to all quarreling and arguments among the laborers over their offices in Islam until he or she have been qualified and their qualification examined to see if they are fit to be used in a respective position. The past history shows that the first examination of laborers is made by the apostle whom the laborers are to work with. According to the Holy Quran, chapter 59, verse 7, the Muslims were very poor when they first started to teach Islam, and all contribution was given to Allah's apostle for him and his family's support. And what the apostle could spare he gave to help take care of the poor Muslims that were unable to help themselves, and the other part was given to those who were confined to the labor of Islam. And soon there arose an argument among the hypocrites about the use of money, because they thought that they should share equally with the apostle. Then Allah cast these hypocrites out and punished them for the false accusation that they had spread against the Prophet, that he was seeking to enrich himself and acting unjustly to the poor and needy. And then Allah told the other laborers that he would soon enrich all of them, but at present every effort should be to maintain the Prophet and his household. The enemy then tried to stop every Muslim from helping the apostle and said he should be killed. Then Allah challenged the enemy to do so, to leave not a stone unturned in trying. This is in the 34 problems that you have.
Now that is a lesson, a lot of lessons in that. You got to have divine order. You got to have a military. And when you support the messenger, the messenger turned around and supported those who couldn't support themselves. And then they always wanted to share in or getting some of the benefits of the believers. You had the enemies inside the Nation of Islam rising up, and they always have been plotting to kill the messenger, but they couldn't do it. And Minister Farrakhan revealed this. He said there was a plot to kill the messenger. I'm not going to go into who those brothers are and were, but it still is a plot to kill the message going on, to kill the word, to bury the word, so you can get on that frequency, that the messenger was on. But you got to have divine order and divine unity in order to be the rulers. You know, you got to have a head and you got to have a body. It could be like the 24 scientists, 12 major, but it was always Allah that won. But we got to go. So study up on your lessons. And remember this, it's time to separate from your natural enemy. He has proven the fact that he's against nature by inventing all this chemical warfare. Warfare, period. It's against the planet Earth, against the universe, and against people. Especially the original. This is black light. Sugar, salt is salt. If you don't get off, it ain't my fault.